Alright, we're down to our final phase of the process of building your horns. This is the tuning section. I've already showed you in the previous video how we're going to be cutting our pipe back a little bit at a time, cutting our funnel back if need be, and also expanding the throat of the pipe by adding a coupling piece, 3/4 inch coupling piece over top of this to widen the throat of the funnel out, similar to this one here. Have this one wider so it'll raise the pitch and it'll give you a higher note. The actual tuning process, a lot of guys want to know exact lengths. They ask me, what's the exact length to hit A? What's the exact length to hit C? Whatever. Same with the funnel, you know, can you give me an exact length? And I really can't. I wish I could. It would be so much simpler to tune these if I could do that. Even with me using the exact same materials every time, which you probably aren't going to be able to find exactly the same materials as I do, I can't hit the same note twice sometimes by cutting at the same length. They all seem to tune just a little bit off from each other. They'll be somewhat close, but I can be as much as a full note off sometimes, so even when cutting them the same length. So it all boils down to trial and error, unfortunately. So that makes it a little bit frustrating for the tuning part of it. But yeah, you're going to start out with a long pipe and you're going to just start cutting that pipe back. Once you get the pipe cut back to 1 inch, maybe 3/4 of an inch long, then you're going to start cutting your funnel back a little bit at a time to raise the pitch higher and higher, and until you hit the note that you're looking for. So I have this set here that's on the cover of the book. This is ones that I already built, already tuned. They're tuned to C sharp, E, and then the smallest one here is tuned to A. And that's the same notes that the Nathan Airchime P3 or the Nathan Airchime M3 play. Both of them play the same notes. So I'm going to show you this here too. Just for cutting the 3/4 inch PVC pipe, even the funnels, I just use this crosscut saw here. Actually, this is a miter saw for using it in a miter box. But just any simple saw to cut them back a little bit at a time. I'll tip the camera down here so we can see the screen. And I have this, I have 7th, it's www.7thstring.com. That's the site that I show you in the book. And I send a link out with the videos that I send out. You'll also have this link on here. What you'll be looking for when you get online on the 7th String site, you'll look in the left-hand column over here, and about 3/4 of the way down, you'll see a site area that says Utilities, and then below that it says Tuner, and you want to click on Tuner, and that'll bring up this screen here. Now I'll maximize the screen so we get a big picture here. There. Okay, so now we can see already that as I'm talking, the note's going up and down and up and down, and then up here you're going to have the hertz frequency, and it's going to tell how many hertz that the horn is playing. And I give you the hertz level and the notes in the booklet, showing you all the different types of horns, the different makers, and the notes that they play. So one thing you don't want to do, you don't want to aim your horn right at the screen. I mean, you know, it's going to distort the sound a little bit. So what you want to do is point it away from the screen or up at the ceiling, something like that, to test your horn. So the first one I'm going to test here is put that right in front of you here. This is the lowest note. This one should be around C sharp. That has the longer pipe on it. So I'll blow that one. See what we end up with. Should be right on C sharp, plus or minus just a little bit. C sharp, A flat. Keeps going back and forth. It was pretty much on C sharp. We'll try it one more time. C sharp. Now we'll try the one that I've cut back shorter. It's full length funnel, but I've cut the pipe back shorter. This one should be blowing E. Okay, I'm showing E. And then this one, the final one with the short and the widened throat on it, shortened funnel. This one should be blowing A. And we're at 436 hertz. True A would be 440 hertz. But don't get too concerned if the hertz level is just a little bit off. It's the fact of the matter is, real train horns very seldom have exactly perfect tuning. They're all just a little bit off anyway, and so it's not gonna hurt a bit if you're just a little bit off on your tuning by a few hundredths of a hertz frequency. One thing you're gonna want to be doing after you get all the notes tuned in on your horns the way you want them, and then you'll be blowing them all together. And I showed you the manifold in the other video, how I built the manifold. You're going to want to use large air line to blow into the manifold. This is a 1/2 inch diameter inside. This is just plastic tubing, plenty strong enough. There's another style. Oh, I got it in my hand. The other style here is like a reinforced plastic tubing. It's got nylon reinforcement in there. This is actually good for our, I think 150 or 175 psi. So, and even this plastic tubing here is well over 100 psi. So it can handle a lot of pressure. It's not a problem to use this type of tubing. You'll have like a big 1/2 inch barred nipple, 1/2 inch threaded end on it, so you can thread it into either steel pipe or thread it into your nylon or your PVC pipe for your manifold. And then you just put that on there, put a ring clamp around it, and tighten it down. And you're going to need this kind of volume of air. And I try to stress that to everybody, that it takes large volumes of air to feed the manifold and feed all the individual horns. And kind of the analogy I use so people understand what I'm talking about. Just picture each of these horns as a lawn sprinkler out in your yard. And if you had 3 lawn sprinklers, or even up to 5 horns, 3 or 5 lawn sprinklers all running out in your yard, and then you take a garden hose this big and try to feed 3 or 5 sprinklers all at the same time, you can imagine what's going to happen. You cannot push enough water through there to feed 3 lawn sprinklers all at the same time. You're just going to get a trickle out the end of your sprinkler. And the same thing applies for these horns. You need a large hose to supply the air, large enough volume of air to feed the horns. These things definitely suck up a lot of air. And if you don't have the large enough line to supply it, it's just going to be a weak sound. Possibly a couple of them won't even blow. A lot of the guys, they email me and they say, well, I can only, if I use them one at a time, I can get them to blow really good, but when I hook them all together, I can only get 1 or maybe 2 to sound, and some of them don't sound at all. And then I ask them, what size airline are you using? And they'll say, some small little airline like this from their shop compressor or something that's just got a small feed line, a 1/4 inch or 3/8 inch line, and that's obviously, it just isn't enough air. So I can't stress enough, large volumes of air. I'm just using a little 5-gallon tank here like this to test them with. I got a 1/2 inch pipe coming out, 1/2 inch ball valve here to turn it on and off with. And that works, and I got this small line. It's just a small line with a little trigger thing, and this is just for testing only. I mean, I'm testing my horns with this, and this is plenty of air for one horn, but it's never going to be, small line like that's never going to be enough to feed 3 of them at once. So I'll go over a little bit more on the air system. I'm going to do a whole nother video just on the air tanks, the manifold setup, and hooking them up to your horns, how it would look once they're all hooked up and you're going to try to blow them. So, but really this is about all I can tell you for the tuning. Like I say, it's trial and error. It's nothing real specific, other than, you know, you just got to keep chopping things back till you find the note that you want. The online tuner, I do really like that because it's showing the hertz level, so as you're going up, you can see how close you're getting to the proper note that you want. You can really see as you chop an inch off how many hertz it's jumping up each time, and that really helps dial it in a lot quicker. But you can also use a guitar tuner. Korg, K-O-R-G, is a small digital tuner you can buy online. I think you can get those for like $14 or $15. They aren't real expensive. Guitar and piano tuner. Yeah, they're just little small digital tuners. The only thing is those will show a note, but they won't necessarily, I don't think, some of them might show hertz levels, but I did buy one small one, and actually it's over here. Just a second. Right here. It's a little bit dirty from sitting in the shop, but that's all it is, just a small digital tuner. And mine doesn't show the hertz level as you're using it. It just shows the note only, and then plus or minus how far off you are on the note. But even that, I mean, even something like that, it works quite well. But I definitely like the online tuner better. So anyway, I don't think there's a whole lot more I can do to help you out with the tuning other than what I've told you so far. Then it's up to you to try to get it dialed in. So, but once you get them all tuned in and all blowing together, they really sound nice.